So today I want to talk about how I replaced a high income pharmacist salary using real estate over the past, I'd say 10 years since I started investing. So for those of you new to my journey, you know that I graduated in pharmacy school back in 2013 with $250,000 of student debt. And from basically 2013 all the way to 2017, I paid off $250,000 of student debt. Happy to do a more detailed video. But pretty much to summarize it, I basically kept my lifestyle exactly the same. I lived like a poor college student where I was just renting a room in an apartment for 500 bucks a month. And then when I got my next job, I was actually just living at home. So I was parent hacking and living at home for free. It's very common in Asian American communities to do that. So I took advantage of that. And after I paid off $250,000 of student debt that I had in 4 years, I then pivoted to buying real estate, right? And I didn't think I would own, 90 units or 51 units, what I do today. Back then, when I bought my first home, I was just more thinking like, okay, I just want a place to live. So I bought my first single family home, primary residence, back in 2017, which I actually house hacked. And, so basically I lived in the master bedroom. I rented out the three other bedrooms for $1,000 each, and that $3,000 of income was enough to cover my mortgage. And after that, I left that house for another job and bought another house where I house hacked it once again in San Francisco. So I lived in the master bedroom, rented out the two other bedrooms, and then there's another kind of makeshift two-bedroom apartment downstairs. Rented that out, and then I bought another property, house hacked it again, and I did that a fourth time. So I house hacked my first four single-family homes, where I could put 10% down on the properties, so I can kind of leverage my way into there. And I had high income W-2 as a pharmacist, so it made it easy for me to qualify based on my debt to income ratio. I had a very good credit score, obviously, because I pay off my credit cards every month. I paid off student loans. I have a good track record, right? And then um, from basically 2017 to 2021, it was pretty, I would say, kind of stagnant, but or slow and steady. I want to say stagnant. I mean, I bought one rental property a year. But in 2021 is when I really hit lightning in a bottle. And what happened was it was during COVID, interest rates dropped. And when interest rates dropped, people were overbidding for properties like crazy. So all the single family homes that I purchased appreciated like crazy, right? So for example, my first single family home I bought in 2017 was worth I bought for 825,000, and I think during the height of COVID, when interest rates were like below 3%, it was worth close to $1.3 million, right? 1.2 to 1.3. So I made about $500,000 equity in that property, and all my single family homes pretty much did that in California, right? So I basically each of my single family homes I bought appreciated by $500,000 in during COVID. So I built up $2 million of equity. Um, Pretty much not doing much, right? I just owned the properties. I rented it out. I didn't really do anything special. I self-managed these, but I say I got lucky, right? Like who would have known interest rates would have went down to below 3%, or 4 to 3%. If it was primary residence, you can get below three. If it was a rental, maybe low threes, right? So during that time window, I built up a lot of equity, and I took the opportunity to refinance to not only lower my interest rates on all my properties, but to pull out a bunch of equity from these single family homes. So I basically pulled out $1 million of, actually more than that, about $1.2 million of equity. And I don't know how my loan officer got me to qualify for that, but I had a very good high income W-2, which helped, right, as a pharmacy director. So I pulled out $1.2 million of equity, tax free, and because of pulling out so much money, my single family homes cash flow negative, obviously, right? So, I'm in my single family home real estate portfolio probably cash flow negative $3,000 a month, which makes sense because I put out so much equity, and rents in California are good. So I put out $1.2 million, and I basically bought a 26 unit apartment complex, a 20 unit apartment complex, and a mobile home park, right? And this brings me to 2023. So from 2021 and 2022, that's when I bought 80 units in that 8 month window and went up to 90 units of real estate. And in 2023 and 2022, that's when I started renovating my 26 unit, renovating my 20 unit, renovating my mobile home park and selling my mobile home park, right? And like this is what also expedited my net worth to grow up to close to 6 million now. And what happened was, I bought this apartment, my 26 unit. I bought for $500,000. It appraised at 750K day one. So I made $250,000 in instant equity, and I put in roughly $300,000 to renovate it. So I'm all in for 800,000, and I was able to renovate most of the units, and I doubled the rent from an average of 350 up to 700 to 750, right? And if you double your rent, you double your net operating income. And if you know the equation, net operating income divided by the market cap rate, I doubled my NOI. And assuming the cap rate stays the same, you double the value of the apartment complex. So I basically bought it for $500,000. I put in $300,000, so I'm $800,000 all in, and I doubled it to $1.6 million. So I just forced $800,000 of equity, right, in that apartment complex. So that increased almost my net worth by $1 million. And now that 26 unit apartment complex, I mean, it grosses about $18,000 a month. And I would say all in for my expenses, it varies every month, but I would say I probably cash flow between $8,000 to $10,000 a month, right? And this is like tax-free income, right? And this is including expenses, property management, insurance, property tax, my debt service, which I locked in a 4% interest rate. So I'm cash flowing between $8,000 to $10,000 a month, depending on the expenses. My 20 unit, same story. I bought for 350, off market. Put in, it appraised at $400,000 day one. I made $50,000 equity. Put in roughly about $100,000 to renovate it. Was all in for $400,000. I was able to raise the rents on average from like 300 up to like 500 to 550. So once again, the value raised to roughly around maybe $700,000, $800,000, being conservative. So once again, I'm all in for what was that, 450. It's worth maybe $800,000. So once again, I forced roughly $350,000 equity. So between my 26 unit and my 20 unit, I forced $1 million worth of equity. So I basically took out $1 million, and then I was able to force $1 million of equity. So I doubled that return. And now my 20 unit cash flow is between about $1,500 $2,000 a month, net. So my 26 unit, my 20 unit, that's on a good month, $12,000 net a month. Times that by 12, that's $144,000 of take home money. I mean, that's honestly more than I take home right now working, right? I still work, right? And also my mobile home park. So that one, I lost money in that deal. I did a video about it, but I lost $100,000 on my mobile home park, which was a great tax refund for me because I still work at W2, right? So if I lost $100,000 on my mobile home park, that will offset my W2 income. So if I made $200,000, for example, it would offset my taxable income by $100,000. And at me, I'm at a 30% tax bracket, so I got back $30,000 as a tax refund, right? So my loss is went from $100,000, and thanks to the tax refund, it's maybe down to $70,000, right? And then from there, I'm actually carrying a note on the mobile home park still, around $450K, paying me 6%. So starting in May, I'm gonna get about $2,200 a month in cash flow for that note payment, and after 3 years, I'll eventually get my lump sum back. So basically, if you have all my passive income, basically I got about, I'll do high end, so 10,000 for my 26 unit, 2,000 for my 20 unit, and another 2,200 for my mobile home park. So if you add that up, that's about $14,000 a month net in tax-free income, and that's more than my pharmacist salary. So, and I did that over 11 years. So I went from negative $250,000 in student debt, paid that off in 4 years. So from 2013 to 2017, paid off 250K student debt, and from 2017 all the way up to 2024, the next 7 years, I was able to basically build up $14,000 a month in positive cash flow while working, right? I still work right now, um, because, I love what I do, and it helps me develop skill sets that translate very well into real estate. And because I work full time, I know I have to manage my real estate portfolio very efficiently and run it like a business and delegate a lot of things, right? So it helps keep me on my toes and helps run my business. So that's how I was able to basically, um, build up all that cash flow, enough to replace my farm's income. But I still need to work because now I bought a house and I have a $7,000 mortgage. So you know, and for me, even though the real estate income is great, I still want another source of income from W two because it's very reliable. And like I said, real estate, I could have a plumbing issue and that might wipe out $5,000 of extra money. So, and I'd be stressed, right? So for me, I think I'd be too stressed if I were to honestly just not have a W 2. So I'd rather just work a W 2, and, have that peace of mind that I have extra income coming in and my real estate can kind of self sustain itself, right? Like, that's always been my goal is to have the real estate self sustain itself. If it pumps off extra money, great. It helps me build up my reserve. I can use it to buy more real estate, um, as I continue to work and build up additional streams of income, right? So that's how I replaced my high income W 2, right, in 11 years. And, it went from negative $250,000 to $14,000 a month net in positive cash flow. And despite that, I'm still working a high income W 2, um, because, like I said, it's really like just going through the journey of real estate and business. It really makes me appreciate my W 2 job, like, more so, ironically. I have a video talking about that, but that's just the reality, right? That's what a lot of real estate investors will tell you. Like, there is a way to have a high income W 2 and have a large real estate portfolio, right? Like, you can have both. Like, having one or the other is a limiting belief, right? So, I'm living proof, and that's why I share my journey. So let me know if you have any comments or questions down below. Love to get your feedback, and please share this video with somebody who wants to work a W two like me and wants to own a large real estate portfolio. Like, you can do both, right? If you're interested in joining mentorship and learning how to do that, check out the link down below. Uh, Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.